About a month ago, I made a video letting you guys know everything that was going on with the Friday the 13th franchise, from the movies to the games and that huge lawsuit that's basically holding everything down. Weirdly enough, the guy who broke down all of the info around the lawsuit and made it understandable was Larry Zerner, who's a Friday the 13th actor turned copyright lawyer. Basically, the outcome of the lawsuit was that the rights for the Friday the 13th franchise were split between Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham. It wasn't an exact 50-50 split, but it was split enough to where neither of them can really go ahead and make a new movie in the franchise and expect to see some money return on it. Sean Cunningham obviously immediately appealed the decision, but then he made the weird choice to withdraw his appeal, and thanks to Larry Zerner, we found out that it was all due to a technicality, and while he could settle, he was expected to appeal again. There hasn't been much of an update since then, but Northwest Florida Daily News sat down with Larry Zerner to talk to him about being in Friday the 13th the game, and they also asked him about the legal situation, and he gave us a pretty promising update. And big shout out to my friend Riley over at Slash and Cast for turning me on to this article. You can check out his video on this whole thing, which is really good, down in the description and up in a card. Zerner said, "I hear they're talking settlement. They have, I think, another 2 weeks. Either he's going to refile the appeal or they're going to say they settled. I think Sean's chances on the appeal are small, and I think he knows that. And an appeal is going to take another 2 years, maybe 3. And there's a lot of money at stake because you want to get the movies out. You're not doing anything. Nobody's making money, so there's an incentive to settle and not wait. I think there's better than a 50-50 chance that we'll see a settlement in the next 30 days. So while in most cases a 50-50 shot isn't very good, in this circumstance it's the best odds we've seen of Friday the 13th coming back. And from my last video I made on the topic where you guys left me a ton of comments and a ton of likes, I think if they came around and made a new Friday the 13th movie and did it right, a ton of people would turn up in the theater to see it, so they would make a ton of money. Another interesting twist here is that Friday the 13th the game is being ported to Nintendo Switch, and it's coming out this spring. It's just going to be the exact same game as on consoles and PC with all of the same DLC, except for the Tom Savini skin, which is a Kickstarter reward. Thanks to the lawsuit, which makes it so Gun Media can't add anything new to the game, from Uber Jason to the Grendel map, the community has kind of died out a little bit on PC and consoles. But now that it's coming to a new platform with the Nintendo Switch with a completely different audience, and it's coming before its biggest competitor, Dead by Daylight, I think it has a pretty good shot to find a completely new audience here, and that's good. Of course, that's assuming the port is good, which it really needs to be, because this game already isn't the prettiest game around, and it still has a ton of bugs that need to be squashed. The best thing I think they can do for Friday the 13th the game is make it cross-play with PC or consoles, especially with this influx of new players on the Nintendo Switch. Fortunately, I think Gun Media finally figured out how to make this game work. They hired a completely new developer to work on it last year, and we've seen Unreal Engine 4 looking and running really well on the Switch with games like Snake Pass and Fortnite. So while the lawsuit is still a very real thing, it looks like it could finally be wrapping up in the next 2 weeks, which means we can finally start looking forward to a return of the Friday the 13th film franchise. And on top of that, whether or not the port is good on Friday the 13th the game to Nintendo Switch, it'll just be awesome to have Jason Voorhees to blow through those single player challenges in handheld mode. Can you imagine playing a Friday the 13th game on a Nintendo handheld? We haven't had anything like that in years, I think since the NES game. So things are looking pretty bright for the Friday the 13th franchise. So that pretty much wraps it up on this legal update for Friday the 13th. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and also let me know what other horror movies you want me to cover in the coming months. Anyway guys, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.